for another cold day very soon. Tirza, what can you tell us?
Well, Monica, we are looking at an active 24 hours, and you may have already felt the changes with winds increasing this afternoon and those clouds beginning to roll in. I have details on what that means for your Thursday and how the rest of the forecast period will be impacted. Your KTSM 9 Plus starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital newscast. I'm Monica Cortez. Well, a brown haze hovering over the borderland, and it's got a lot of people wondering what that is. We're going to have more on that in just a moment, but first, we do have a developing story to get to. We start off with what just came into our newsroom about half an hour ago. El Paso police tell us that there's been a crash on Copia involving a car and a pedestrian. So far, we know that one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Copia and Gateway West were closed, but as of 30 minutes ago, TxDOT told us that the roads are back open. We have a crew on their way to the scene. We'll update you with more information on air and online. Well, back to our top story that's got everyone in El Paso, Socorro, Horizon, and Points East talking. We're talking about the brown haze hovering over the borderland this morning. We actually received emails and calls asking what this strange burnt plastic smelling cloud is. And the short answer is pollution. We did capture this video through our tower camera earlier today, showing the menacing smoke trapped over the El Paso and Juarez area. In fact, we actually reached out to our partners at the National Weather Service in El Paso, and they say although they don't really handle pollution metrics, they did give us quite a bit of an insight into the atmosphere and what weather conditions allow for pollution to linger. One meteorologist at the National Weather Service office actually explained that as we get into the cooler months, we tend to see more of a stagnant air. It's also during the cooler months that people tend to let their car run a little longer, and then they start turning on their wood burning stoves. All of this allows us to see more smog in the area, and it's these contributing factors mixed in with the atmospheric dynamics that we see and smell smog during this time of the year.
We tend to see that pollution sit like a lid in the atmosphere, especially early in the morning, due to the fact that we have temperatures that are warming with height that are sitting right below that cooler air loft. So it can make the appearance of pollution seem a lot more drastic.
Bladen goes on to say that poor air quality is not limited to just the winter months. We also see quite a bit of pollution during the summer months when we have smoke moving in from wildfires or dust moving in from dust storms. A few things to keep in mind, though, when you are dealing with poor air quality is to stay indoors, keep windows and doors closed, and always keep an eye on the air quality index to know when our air quality reaches unhealthy levels. Now, as for today's haze, we're still unsure what is causing it, but we're definitely working to find out more. Make sure you're sticking with us on air and online at KTSM.com. And with that, we're going to turn things over to Tirza Ortiz, who is here waiting to tell us the very good news about cold weather. I mean, okay, look, I don't like cold weather. I'm okay with how it is, but I know a lot of people are ready for it.
You know what, Monica, a lot of people are ready for it, especially because we are in our first week of December and we already have those Christmas decorations out there. So I think it is about time, unfortunately, to begin dropping those temperatures, and beginning tomorrow, we can begin to see a shift and change, at least for the next 24 hours. Now, tomorrow, we are looking at those cooler conditions. We are noticing a system up north that is going to go ahead and move down into our region and bring us some stronger winds. Not too bad, though, but we are also getting those cooler temperatures. More seasonal temperatures are going to begin entering our region. We actually do have some winter storm warnings up north and to the west of the borderland area. Now, while we won't see freezing conditions, at least for El Paso, we do have some areas that are going to be impacted with a little bit of precipitation and the potential for snow. Now, it won't be a whole bunch. It won't be enough to actually accumulate on our actual records, but it will be a little bit of something. Other than that, though, we are looking at relatively dry conditions. And again, those cooler temperatures that we have been waiting for. Currently, we are at 68 degrees in El Paso, so we are really quite warm. Now, tomorrow we can drop down as low as 10 degrees from where we are currently now, 68 over in Juarez and 60 in Las Cruces. Coming up in our full 9-day forecast, I'll bring more details of just how cold we'll get and again, those conditions that we have been waiting for. Monica?
Tirza, thank you so much for that. Well, in news across Texas, President Donald Trump just announced that he would pardon Congressman Henry Cuellar, who was indicted last year on bribery and money laundering charges. Now, on Truth Social, Trump said that Cuellar had been punished by a weaponized Department of Justice under former President Joe Biden for speaking out against the administration's border policy. Now, Cuellar's legal controversy began back in 2022 when the FBI raided his home and office as part of a federal probe investigating the diplomatic practices of Azerbaijan. Now, the congressman thanking the president this morning. Take a listen.
I want to say thank you. I think the facts have been very clear about this, but I would also say I want to thank God for standing during this very difficult time with my family and I. Now we can get back to work. Nothing has changed.
With Trump's pardon, Cuellar will no longer face any legal ramifications related to the bribery case. Cuellar also filed for re-election as a Democrat, quieting speculation that he planned to switch parties. And as we've been telling you, Tom Homan is set to visit UTEP tomorrow. Now, a group calling itself El Chuco Habla is planning to protest the border czar controversial visit. As we've told you before, Homan is scheduled to speak at 7 p.m. tomorrow at the UTEP Undergraduate Learning Center. The event is hosted by Turning Point USA at UTEP, a student group affiliated with the organization founded by the late Charlie Kirk. In a news release, El Chuco Habla criticized Homan, calling him, quote, an architect of Trump's cruel detention and mass deportation policy. Now, this isn't the first controversy surrounding Homan's visit. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar and El Paso County commissioners have also criticized his upcoming visit. All right, we do want to take you outside now using our TechStock cameras, and this is what it looks like. So I-10 Loma Land, things are very clear out there, very smooth sailing. Not a lot to slow us down. A big 2 thumbs up. Well, in national coverage now, farmers who have struggled this year could be in for some relief very soon. The Agriculture Secretary previewing a big announcement during the president's cabinet meeting this week. And in today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman has the latest on the secretary's comments.
Could relief for farmers be coming soon? I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. At a White House cabinet meeting, the Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, announcing payments are coming for farmers, with an announcement, she says, planned for next week.
We do have a bridge payment we'll be announcing with you next week as we're still trying to recover from the bite.
To help,
That's right.
To help the farmers.
America's farms have struggled this year, with some crops facing low prices and low sales as the administration works through trade disputes. Rollins says the payments are meant to help farmers stay afloat as the administration negotiates trade deals to open new markets for American farmers to sell their crops. Now, farm bankruptcies have soared this year. 181 recorded in the first half of the year. In the first half of last year, that number was 115. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, another artist has gone after the White House for using their music without their permission. Coming up, we're going to go over Sabrina Carpenter's feud with ICE and what you all thought about that in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, always putting local first.
today.
Welcome back. In today's In the Comments segment, pop artist Sabrina Carpenter blasted the White House for using one of her songs in a video showing ICE agents making arrests. Now, the video features Carpenter's song Juno with the lyric, "Have you ever tried this one?" running on repeat alongside a montage of ICE agents arresting, confronting, tackling, and handcuffing people. Carpenter called the video evil and disgusting. The White House then responded saying, quote, "We won't apologize for deporting dangerous criminal illegal murderers, rapists, and pedophiles from our country. Anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid, or is it slow?" The last line using Carpenter's own man-child song lyrics against her. Now, we did share the story all over our social media pages, and a lot of you had a lot you wanted to say. So we're going to start off with Lee Bass, who writes, "No entertainer wants their music used without their permission." Meanwhile, John Jaramillo shares, "It's not inhumane to enforce the law." And Jimmy Alonso says, "It's all funny until one of your family members gets harassed or arrested." Now, this isn't the first time the Trump administration gets called out by an artist. In fact, the Rolling Stones, Panic at the Disco, and the estates of Tom Petty and Leonard Cohen were among the many artists who told President Donald Trump to cease and desist from playing their music while campaigning back in 2020. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, up next, we take a walk in the park with Bella Escobar, the only female currently playing in America's high school's football team. More on her story in just a bit. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so Spotify released its annual Spotify Wrapped this morning, giving listeners a personalized music report. While Taylor Swift took the crown for America's most listened to artist, she was dethroned by Bad Bunny, whose album Debí Tirar Más Fotos made him the most listened to artist globally. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars' Die With a Smile was the top song globally, followed by Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish in second place, and what is it? Apartment? I forget the song by Rosa and Bruno Mars in third place. I'm the Problem by Morgan Wallen was the top album in the United States. Is it apt?
Okay. I think I'm never remember apt.
I know. It's apt.
I'm looking at the abbreviation. Apartments.
I've heard the song.
I've written applications before. No, but apt, that sounds correct now that I think about it. Monica, people wait all year long for their Wrapped.
I don't have a set. Okay, so what was yours?
I'm actually notorious for never sharing mine. It is.
I love it.
It's deeply personal to me. Also a little bit embarrassing.
Is it like hard rock?
Is
more... it Baby Shark?
No, Baby Shark would probably be more acceptable. I do this thing where I leave on a song and I'll fall asleep to it.
Oh,
but
that's
then,
cool.
well, no, it's not, because then it plays at, like, for hours on end until I wake up.
Oh.
And then I don't think my Wrapped is accurate because I manipulated it.
That's not what you were listening to.
And that is not who I am defined by. Whoever is my top 5, it was during a time. I will put it like that.
I'm going to try to hack into her Spotify, guys.
I will
and
share it with a select few, but I do require non-disclosure.
She makes a sign, yeah.
I do. My family talks about it all the time. You will never catch me putting my Wrapped
up
online.
Oh,
I am going
on now.
5 years strong, and I'm going to keep it going. But anyway, Borderland, happy Spotify Wrapped Day. Hopefully your Spotify Wrapped was a lot more digestible than mine. We will talk about that in another hour, most likely. But for now, we are still looking at those cloudy conditions, a little bit of haze over our borderland. When we take a look at our temperature trend, though, we are looking at a pretty significant dip. We will be dropping down to those upper 50s for our Thursday, and that is because we do have an upper level system moving through our region, and it is going to bring us some windier conditions along with those cooler temperatures. But as you notice with that temperature trend, they won't be sticking around for long. Currently, we are at 68 degrees, looking at partly cloudy skies. Those winds are moving at 14 miles per hour from the southwest, and humidity remains low at 23% in El Paso. Taking a look at Las Cruces, we are already down to those low 60s. We're about to drop down into those upper 50s any moment now. 14-mile-per-hour winds as well coming from the west. Humidity a little bit stronger at 34%. For our lows for tonight, though, we are getting quite cold in certain parts of the borderland. Over in Rio, so 26 degrees. We go to 22 over in Cloudcroft. Freezing conditions, make sure you are preparing for that, looking out for people, pets, plants, and those pipes, of course. 35 degrees over at Alamogordo. Tirza is matching that number. Deming as well, 27 in Silver City, and 36 degrees over in Las Cruces. We will talk about our borderland, El Paso and Las Cruces, a little bit closer, starting with El Paso. We aren't getting too much colder than we have in the past few days, but starting tomorrow, we will feel those chillier winds coming into our area. 40 degrees is going to be that low. We are looking at partly cloudy skies for a good portion of the evening, and of course those lighter winds coming in at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As for Las Cruces, 36 degrees will be your forecasted low. Still looking at those cloudy skies for a good portion of the evening going into the very early morning hours. And of course, your light winds are also coming in from the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now for tomorrow, we are warming up to 58 degrees, but this is below average and significantly cooler than what we had for today, as well as the rest of the forecasted period. We are looking at some cloud cover, really not too major, nothing like what we had today, but those chilly winds will be really the main theme for our Thursday. Over in Las Cruces, 56 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and of course your light afternoon winds as we get through that system. Now for the rest of the region, 41 degrees over in Rio, so not warming up too much. Really not warming up over in Cloudcroft. We are in those low 30s with 53 degrees over in Alamogordo. And of course, I will have your full 9-day forecast later on in the hour, but we do have more news headed your way after the break. Stay with KTSM 9+.
back to another installment of our Walk in the Park series where we highlight exceptional people in our community. And today we're introducing you to Bella Escobar. She's a star football player on the America's high school team and who happens to be the only girl on the team. It's so incredible. Here's more. Hey everyone, well, for this Walk in the Park series, we're actually not so much in a park, but in a football field. And the reason is because we have a very special guest with us today. This is Bella Escobar. She is a senior at America's High School. Hey Bella, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm really excited to be here.
Bella, we are so excited to have you. So get this, guys, let me paint a picture for you. Bella, she, like I said, senior in high school, but more than anything, she is a kicker at a football game. That's right, she's part of a football team. Bella, how incredible. What made you want to become part of a football team?
I've honestly always loved football. It's such an exciting sport. The intensity, it's amazing. This year, my soccer coach pushed me forward. Why don't you try it?
Okay, you made the team. What was the reaction when they found out that their kicker was a woman?
Definitely all the guys, they were like, what the heck? Are you sure about this? You're gonna get tackled. I told them, like, I got this. I'm positive about this. I'm excited.
And how has the team embraced you now that you've been part of their team?
They have been more like family. I couldn't expect anything else with them. They are such an amazing group of guys. Them and the coaches, they so supportive. I cannot do it without them.
Oh my gosh, that is so fantastic. I'm just so proud of you. I love the fact where you're taking us women power, being part of a football team that's all men. Can you talk a little bit more about how that has actually changed a little bit of the view for America's high school, seeing their first girl on a football team?
I think it definitely brought a bunch of eyes to America's and the football team as well. The football team is a great team. Personality and playing wise, they're amazing. So it brought everyone to look at America's in the best way possible.
You know, Bella, I feel like you're breaking barriers here. I think you're the only girl on a football team in El Paso. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Currently I am. I believe there has been more before, but right now, just doing it in this era, it's amazing. I didn't expect myself to be breaking barriers or even stepping on my own toes to come out, but I'm glad I did.
You know, and I like that you said that because I feel like, yes, there is a lot of obstacles you've had to overcome. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think it was just a bunch of people saying oh, it's a girl on the football team, how are you gonna change? Figured that all out. Or just about me getting tackled or me coming out early mornings. It's the same thing.
No, Bella, thank you so much. This has been so cool. I can't believe I'm talking to one of the very few women who have joined football teams. It is such a pleasure, Bella. How about you show us how it's done on the football field? You ready for that?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it. What an inspiration. That was Bella Escobar. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
these hours.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Monica Cortez. We are following a developing story this afternoon. El Paso police tell us that there's been a crash on Copia involving a car and a pedestrian. So far, we know that one person was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown at this time. Copia and Gateway West were closed, but as of 30 minutes ago, TxDOT alerted us that the roads are back open. Video also shows Border Patrol and El Paso Police gang unit at the scene, but we're still trying to find out why they're there. We do have a crew on the scene, and we're going to update you with more information on air and online. Well, in case you missed it, many El Pasoans, Sun Metro is how some of us get to work, school, or run daily errands. But a major route reconstructing could change the way thousands of riders move around the city. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo reports with what Sun Metro is proposing.
Right now we have 6.9 million riders a year, so somewhere around 25,000 a week.
From getting to work, to getting to class, to running daily errands. For many El Pasoans, Sun Metro is a necessity.
I have about 3 to 4 years using these buses, and they've given good service.
But by June 2026, the network is expected to look a lot different. Sun Metro presented its Sun Metro Rising proposal to City Council, a full restructuring of the entire system. Now, according to their presentation, 609 bus stops would be deactivated. That's based on ridership data that found 135 stops had 0 riders, 256 averaged fewer than 1 rider a day, and 19 stops saw more than 10 riders. And the presentation showed most riders would see better service with the changes, with bus frequency improving for more than 23,000 people, about 95% of the system.
Really what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people from point A to their destination faster. And so what we did is we're streamlining all the routes. And so yes, there will be some bus stops taken away, but they'll be only affect less than 1% of the people that have to walk 5 to 15 minutes to the next bus stop. But as soon as they get to the next bus stop, they also get the benefit of the optimization of this new network.
I think they do take a little long because sometimes they leave a little early and then you're like, damn, I missed it. I'm on my way to work. And I think they should change up the time at least.
District 1 Representative Alejandra Chavez said she's worried about how many people could be impacted in her district.
I can't help but drive past those bus stops that are going to be discontinued, in the coming months, and I see people there all the time.
But Sun Metro says they are prepared to adjust the plan if feedback shows certain areas still need service.
That was Diana Castillo reporting. Sun Metro expects to launch the new network in June of 2026, right after the school year ends, to avoid any disruptions. You can find more information on these changes on KTSM.com. All right, let's go ahead and take a little pause here and talk about our other big headline for today. Look at that. Very hazy afternoon here in El Paso. Looks kind of gloomy, and it looks like, Tirza, big changes are on the way.
That's right, Monica. We do have a pretty active 24 hours on the way, and that is because we do have a weather shift coming. It's going to bring cooler temperatures, which I know not a whole lot of us are excited about, but the good news is they won't last for long. We'll slowly begin to rise back to above average, but for right now, we do have a couple of warnings on the board. Now, to the west of us, we do have a freeze warning, and up north, where that different system is coming from, we are looking at a winter storm warning. It is going to bring freezing temperatures for portions of New Mexico, and here for the Borderland, El Paso, and Las Cruces, we are looking at those breezes beginning to increase in speed and looking at some stronger gusts as we continue to move throughout the rest of our forecasting period. Now, right now, we are currently at 68 degrees in El Paso, so we are on the warmer end. Las Cruces is at 60. Juarez is also in those upper 60s across the region, 45 already in Ruidoso, and 38 degrees over in Cloudcroft. Now, when we take a look at the next 3 days and what to anticipate, we do have one green light on the board, but yellows for the remaining of the days. For Thursday, 58 degrees. We're looking at those cooler winds beginning to come in, and then we gradually begin to warm right back up. Friday, 63 degrees. Really great day, and then cue those gusts once again for our Friday coming up in our full 9-day forecast. I will have a breakdown of every day and just how cold we'll get and how long we will stay there. But for now, Monica, I'll send it back over to you.
Tirza, thank you so much. A program designed to help minority and female-owned small businesses in Texas will no longer do that. On Tuesday, the Comptroller's office restructured the HUB program, saying that it will only serve businesses owned by service-disabled veterans. The almost 30-year-old program gave about 15,000 certified businesses greater exposure to bid for government contracts. Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim spoke with a government contracting expert whose own business is impacted by this change.
Yesterday was quite an emotional roller coaster.
Julie Irvin Hartman lost a lot of sleep after the controller said in October it was freezing new HUB certifications. Then came Tuesday. At 11 a.m., she received an email that her company was approved for HUB recertification. But 4 hours later, she was told the rules have changed. Businesses that were certified in the past based on their owner's race, ethnicity, or gender will no longer qualify.
It's so disappointing because this is an economic issue. This is an economic issue. This is not a political issue. And you're playing with people's lives here.
The HUB program gave more than 15,000 minority and female-owned businesses increased exposure in government contracting. It doesn't guarantee a contract award, but opponents said it was discriminatory. Interim Controller Kelly Hancock said in a statement, quote, "These emergency rules ensure Texas's state contracting is free from gender or race discrimination and keep the program centered on those who earn this support through their service." But Hartman, whose company focuses a lot on helping small businesses get into government contracting, is afraid this will have a negative impact.
I think the email that was sent yesterday adds a lot of noise and confusion already in a space that is a little difficult to understand.
The controller has posted the rule changes on the Texas Register. Next is a 30-day public comment period before the agency will officially vote on the rule change. In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
Well, the Trump administration now plans to withhold money used to administer SNAP benefits from states run by Democrats, unless those states turn over information about their SNAP recipients to the federal government. A USDA spokesperson says that it's only the administrative funds that could be withheld and not the SNAP benefits themselves. The White House wants states to turn over information, including immigration status, on their SNAP recipients. 22 states and Washington, D.C. are now suing to block the White House's push for that information. A federal judge has barred the administration, at least for now, from collecting the information from those states. Despite that, the White House has now given those states until Monday to comply or now risk losing funds.
In February of this year, we asked for all the states for the first time to turn over their data to the federal government, to let the USDA partner with them to root out this fraud, to make sure that those who really need food stamps are getting them, but also to ensure that the American taxpayer is protected.
Now, it's not clear whether states will amend their lawsuits to try to prevent the White House from withholding that money next week or file new lawsuits. Meanwhile, two Austin billionaires pledged $6.25 billion to help children across the country. The money will create millions of additional Trump accounts. According to a finance company, these accounts are a cross between a traditional individual retirement account and a college savings account. They are for children born between January 1st of this year until December 31st of 2028. Parents can also put in money, and it will be available to children when they turn 18. Each account will automatically receive a $1,000 investment from the U.S. Treasury, and that's all part of the recently passed Big Beautiful Bill. To our D.C. newsroom now, it's a major shift for the auto industry. Today, the president unveiled plans to roll back Biden-era fuel efficiency standards designed to reduce pollution. Our D.C.'s Raquel Martin reports leaders from Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis joined the president at the White House to celebrate.
Great. All of the nonsense is being taken out of the cars.
President Donald Trump says he's putting an end to a costly rule for the road. Wednesday, he announced plans to end a Biden-era regulation encouraging investments in electric vehicles and requiring automakers generate a fleet of more fuel-efficient cars by 2031.
Anti-economy. They were horrible what they were doing to the costs.
The president made the announcement alongside Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Republican lawmakers,
thank you, Mr. President,
and auto industry leaders from General Motors, Stellantis, and Ford. Ford CEO Jim Farley says halting the time-sensitive regulations will save them and consumers money.
Will allow us to make vehicles more affordable.
Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga, who represents part of Michigan, the heart of the American auto industry, says it's good news for his state.
Hopefully is going to ease some of that pressure between our workforce as well as the not just the original equipment manufacturers, but those suppliers.
But environmentalists say the rollback is bad news for Americans. Public health groups like the American Lung Association say the Trump administration's efforts will generate more air pollution. In a statement, Michigan Democratic Senator Gary Peters slammed the announcement, saying he doubts it'll bring down costs, adding, quote, whether it's these never-ending swings in our vehicle standards or constantly changing tariffs, the Trump administration is creating uncertainty for our automakers and making it harder to compete. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Well, coming up, a group calling itself El Chuco Habla is planning to protest border czar Tom Homan's visit to UTEP this week. We're going to share what some of you had to say on this topic in our In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first. Welcome back, everyone. So if you want to get in touch with nature before the year ends, a park ranger-led hike will take place this Saturday for their Peak Challenge at 8 in the morning. This is a steep and rugged hike up the up to the B36 crash site, overlook and back. Now, if you're not interested in hiking, you can always let nature inspire you and make your own holiday cards to send to your loved ones. This event will take place at the Visitor Center in the Tom Mays unit of the park from 10 a.m. to noon.
I love the inclusion. If you don't want to hike, you do have an activity you can do.
That is
I stay at the bottom, make a holiday card.
I was about to say, I would make the holiday card.
Yeah, I'm like, you have your designated driver there. They're making holiday cards. You go get your exercise in. Yeah, I mean, the best of both worlds.
Right,
it looks like a lot of fun. And we will have good conditions.
Really? Okay, talk to us. So what are we expecting?
All right. Well, let me go off on a little bit of weather tangent for you. We are looking at very good conditions, a little bit on the warmer end though, Monica. I mean, the mornings are always going to be cooler. That is a given. We are in that season now where we are getting very close to our winter equinox. So we are looking at our temperatures very close to freezing. It doesn't look like we'll have our first freeze, at least not for the forecasting period, but we are going to be cooler in the mornings and warming up to above average temperatures for the rest of our 9 days. Now, currently we are still pretty warm out the door, 68 degrees in El Paso. We are looking at partly cloudy skies. We did have a good layer of haze for the afternoon, but as we move into our evening, that should begin to clear out. We're looking at wind speeds around 14 miles per hour coming from the southwest in El Paso, and taking a look over in Las Cruces, 60 degrees with 13 mile per hour winds. That humidity currently at 34% and a wind gust tracking at 21 miles per hour. Now for our lows tonight, we are getting quite chilly in certain parts of the region. We're looking at 26 degrees over in Ruidoso. Freezing temperatures for Cloudcroft. We're at 22 degrees for your forecasted low, very close over in Alamogordo at 35. TRC and Deming are matching that number with Silver City at 27. As for Las Cruces, only slightly warmer at 36 degrees, and El Paso and Juarez at 40. Now when we take a look at tomorrow, we are cooling down because we have a system moving from the north. It is going to bring us some windier conditions, and we are also looking at a good layer of cloud cover for a good portion of the afternoon. But really what is going to be noticeable are those cooler temperatures. Will be rising up to 58 degrees, and those winds are going to be coming from the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at Las Cruces, 56 degrees is your forecasted high. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, but some light afternoon winds to close out our Thursday. Now taking a look for the rest of the region, 41 degrees over in Ruidoso. So we are not warming up too much in Cloudcroft. We're going to be around 34 degrees, 53 over in Alamogordo, 49 TRC, and 56 in Deming. We talked about Las Cruces. That high will also be at 56 degrees. Our allergens are remaining on the low to mild end, 6 for your Thursday and Friday, and jumping up to 7 for your Saturday. When we take a look at the rest of the 9 hours and how to plan out the rest of your Wednesday evening, we're looking at mostly cloudy conditions for a good portion. 7 p.m. we are down to 62 degrees. We'll drop down to those 50s, 54 by the time we get to 11 p.m. We're looking at 54 degrees for midnight as well, and then we'll hit 50 degrees for your 2 a.m. hour, and still looking at some good cloud cover as we get into our very early morning hours. Now as for the rest of our 9 days, really the most active day is going to be our Thursday. We are looking at those cooler winds moving in, along with the temperatures will be at 58 degrees, dropping down to 37 degrees overnight. It will make for a very cold Friday morning. 63 degrees will be that forecasted high, and we're looking at mostly sunny skies. Now we still do have windy conditions for our Saturday. We're also looking at wind gusts ranging anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour, and then we'll begin to warm up for our Sunday, going all the way into the week. We are looking at those temperatures going well above average. We'll hit 72 degrees for next Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine though. 73 for Thursday before we slightly drop down back into those 60s for your Friday, making for some very warm but overall very comfortable conditions. Those overnight lows though on the cooler end. So again, I would just recommend layering up in the morning. That way you're not too warm as you go into the afternoon. Monica?
Tirza, thank you so much. Well, a group calling itself El Chuco Habla is planning to protest Border Czar Tom Homan's visit to UTEP this week. Homan is scheduled to speak at 7 p.m. this Thursday. El Chuco Habla says UTEP faculty, students, and staff will join together in the Leech Grove, the free speech area, to protest Homan's visit. In a news release, the group criticized Homan for being, quote, an architect of Trump's cruel detention and mass deportation policy. They also say Homan lobbied Congress to overfund ICE, including the new detention facility at Fort Bliss. Now, we did share the story to all of our social media accounts, and lots of you had lots you wanted to say. So we're going to start off with Gene Weiser, who says, I'll be there with my MAGA hat open for civil dialogue. Johnny Wilson writes, Obama hired him for the exact same job, but now it's an issue. What changed? Ricardo Hernandez Jr. says Trump's henchmen should not be welcomed in our city. And the university says that a student organization was putting on the event and had met all guidelines and procedures to host this event, adding that they will not be providing further comment at this time. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to stay in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We're here today with Dr. Irene Gonzalez, an emergency medicine physician over at Del Sol Medical Center, and we're talking about some really common decorating-related injuries, which there are many during this time of year. Let's talk about some of those.
Sure. So the most common injuries that we see in the emergency room would be electrical injuries because the outlets get overloaded with those beautiful decorations. Also cuts from breakable ornaments, as well as falls from ladders. A lot of the times, you know, everybody gets excited hanging those beautiful ornaments on the tree, and the ladder isn't as sturdy, so there are falls from that.
And what are some simple tips just to keep people out of the ER this time of year?
Sure. So make sure you turn off your tree and your lights before you go to sleep to avoid any fire hazards there. Make sure that you keep your cords away from walkways. Make sure you keep breakable ornaments, small ornaments away from children. And when you're on the ladder, make sure there's another adult holding onto that ladder and making sure that you're okay.
Certainly. Dr. Gonzalez, thank you very much. And of course, for more, you can always visit LasPalmasDelSolHealthcare.com to find a provider near you.
Wellness Wednesday, sponsored by Las Palmas del Sol Healthcare.
Find out.
All right, welcome back. We're getting a final look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. We do have cooler temperatures on the way. It will make itself known for our Thursday. That system bringing us down to 58 degrees. We're looking at cooler winds, cloudy conditions. Overall, just a very nice wintry Thursday, and then we warm right back up for the weekend. We are looking at a gradual warm up going all the way through our Thursday. We will hit 73 degrees by the end of next week before we start to drop back down. But other than for our Thursday, we are looking at above average conditions, looking at some really nice sunshine. So it won't really feel like winter during the day. At night, though, it will get cooler. So make sure you're bundling up, especially if you are going out to the plaza.
That's warm. I'm not ready for this. All right, thank you, Tirza. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Hair and wardrobe provided by News. KTSM 9 News Now starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Estela Casas. Thanks for choosing 9 News Now. New at 5. A new Texas state law goes into effect this week, and it will decide who can use restrooms, changing rooms, and locker rooms in public schools, government buildings, and jails. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo